All right, quick look at some business now. Harmony Gold has posted an 18% hike in interim profits, and that's thanks partly to some strong prices on the gold front. Harmony Gold Financial Director Boipelo Lekubo joins us now. Boipelo, thanks very much indeed for your time. I mean, many of your peers have been hit quite hard by power cuts, yet you appear to have gone through that interim period almost unscathed in comparison. Why is that?
I wouldn't say we went through the period unscathed. I believe in the first half of this financial year, well, the first quarter rather, we did have a 100 kilogram reduction in terms of gold production due to the fact of load curtailment. But I think what we try to do is obviously optimize where we can in ensuring that we can control at least the loss on production. So yes, we've noted our peers, citing load shedding as an issue. It is a tremendous issue. However, I believe that we're managing it quite well in terms of optionality around our operations.
Yeah, and still, those results for the period were certainly not bad at all. I mean, but surely, on the other end of the scale, the electricity prices are yet another issue, and the recent hikes probably weighing on operations. I mean, you've closed the Bambanani mine in the Free State 2 years ahead of schedule. Did those energy prices play a role in that move?
So the Bambanani mine closure was due to safety reasons specifically, so that was not related to load shedding at all. Yes, it is a big impact on our cost base, but I mean, we've announced an solar energy renewable program. So the first phase, a 30 megawatt, which is due to come on stream, we should see that in the fourth quarter of this current financial year. Phase 2 will be 137 megawatts, which will come on stream. So we are doing our fair bit in terms of bringing down those electricity costs. Phase 1 will save approximately 30 million rand per annum. Yeah. Phase 2, close to 400 million rand per annum.
I want to talk about that in a moment, but first, the rand price per kilogram of gold. I mean, that also worked in the favor, all right? How long that will stay that way is another issue, but what do you have to say about the forecast on that front?
I mean, gold is dollar denominated. So if we're looking at the outlook of gold, it does look positive, looking at what's happening in the US with interest rates, etc., globally, and inflation. So from a dollar gold perspective, it does look good. I think we should hit around the $2,000 per ounce mark, certainly within the second half of this year. Yeah. So on a rand per kilogram basis, obviously the exchange rate, we did see a bit of weakening in the rand. It's anyone's guess where that will go. But on a rand per kilogram, it has been pretty stable over time. Harmony, our costs are rand denominated, so it does provide quite a nice hedge, so to say.
Okay. And just before I let you go, very quickly, I mean, your renewable energy projects, I've just got a few seconds. It seems to be becoming a bit more easier to take them up, especially if you look at the legislation at the moment, easing. What's the future plans for that?
So as I mentioned, first phase was a 30 megawatt. Our board just recently approved the second phase, which is 137 megawatts. Yeah. We're building that on balance sheet. The 100 megawatts on balance sheet and 37 would be with a PPA.
And then, I mean, all of that, if you look at what the investment climate is at the moment, you've got the infrastructure, certainly with the rail work and ports that we're talking about so often. You've got the infrastructure on the electricity front. Investment is a worry in South Africa. The mining indaba also sort of uttered the similar sentiment. Where do you think mining is going on the investment front as we close up this conversation? I mean, is there prospects for it? Because it still does carry jobs, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I mean, I would never imagine or say that mining is a sunset industry within the South African context. Harmony is a classic example of that. We continue to invest in our mines, in our operations. Last year, we announced quite an intensive capital, profile over the next 3 years to extend the life of our mines in South Africa. So certainly there is still, we find it quite easy to operate within South Africa. It's definitely not something that we shy away from.
All right, Harmony Gold Financial Director Boipelo Lekubo, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. And that's where we leave it.